Hello, and welcome to the MySpace podcast. I'm your host, Miley, and today I will be reviewing the book Awakens by Elise Kova. Oh my gosh, I'm hitting things. Okay, this is the first book of the series. I don't know what the series is called, which is kind of oof. I should know what the series is called, shouldn't I? Rating. Give it a 10 out of 10. I really like the book. Like, I'm in love with it. I'm in love with it. Mind you, it's also been my first fantasy book in a very long time. But still. I literally actually finished this book in a day. That's what happened. All I did was read. The only problem I had with this book was because of one character, and it took up like 3 chapters of Valhalla's time. That's the main character. And I was like, don't you dare become another love interest, because we don't want you. But I think we're safe. Maybe, hopefully. I was not happy. It's like, no. Anyway, okay. POV, third person, and it's focused on Valhalla. Genre, romantasy, so romance and fantasy, young adult, and it's not really enemies to lovers, but sometimes it's enemies to lovers, Plot / storyline. So, Valhalla is a library apprentice, and one night, when the crown prince comes back to the palace poisoned, she basically ends up saving him. Mind you, it was because she unknowingly used magic. Most people do not know that, though. There's only a handful that know it was magic. So this sets the prince out to her, basically. And he's trying to get her to use her powers. And yeah. That's like the whole thing. It's him just trying to get her to join the group, the sorcerers. So they build up a friendship. She doesn't know who it is, though, because it's all through letters. So he's sending her letters, and she's sending some back, but she doesn't know who she's talking to. Then she meets him in person, and I think it's okay. It's okay in the beginning, I think, or maybe it's not. I don't remember. I don't know why, but I can't remember this series of events. But anyways, he then does something a little stupid to try to get her powers to awaken. It almost kills her. Thank you. And then this starts her on the path she never wanted, but honestly, the first thing she did also started her on this path. The whole saving him thing. She doesn't want it because she fears sorcerers. The whole world does, basically. And now she's being told she is one. But she does end up learning that they're not monsters. She does become friends with some of them. However, she's still not sure if she wants to join them or get her powers taken away, which I think they call it like eradication or something. Eradicated. So over the next couple of weeks, that's her conundrum. She's trying to figure out what she wants to do. Then she runs into the prince again, and within these weeks, and he starts teaching her how to use her powers, and they get closer. And then those 3 chapters happen, and then the ending. That ending was honestly crazy. Like, no words. And, I knew it was bound to happen at one point or another. I just didn't think it would be what it was, Like, I knew something was gonna happen. I just didn't think it would be that. So, yeah. Valhalla. She's really smart, intellectual. That's what they call her. Intellectual. She loves to read. She started off being all like, I just want a normal life where I work in the library and read books. However, because she is able to see things with an open mind after she calms down and stuff, she's able to like see different angles and stuff. Those thoughts and feelings start to change. But she's also not completely sure what she wants. So the whole book is kind of just her trying to figure out what she wants to do. She's also able to look past rumors about people and see who they truly are. She wants to know who they truly are past these rumors. She's also a little naive and innocent, but that's to be expected when you don't grow up in this kind of world, you know? Aldrich, I think that's how you say his name. He is the crown prince. He's supposed to be this silver-tongued, horrible, arrogant, egotistical person and whatnot. And we do see that in the beginning with him, even around her. And he is that, just not with her after a while. So we slowly see his shell crack as the book goes on when he's around Valhalla. You know, at first he was just using her as a puppet, so you do get that. You do get those changes, like, in between him being the rumored person, the bad, horrible one, and the one who's nice to her. But then that changes. That really changes, like, and actually changes with her. He also has a very small number of friends. From what we've seen so far, he only has like 2, and that's counting Valhalla. But, you know, we all know he wants to be more than friends with her. But neither of them have ever actually admitted that they like each other. It's just kind of like, with her, it's kind of like almost stated. It's been implied, but it's never been actually said out loud. They use the bond, they're like, because they have a bond and whatnot from her saving him. So it's like, we're bound together. I talk about that in the spoiler section. That's not really spoiler, you get that in the beginning. Okay, other characters. So Supreme, these are going to be really small and maybe have some spoilers, but so he is Valhalla's best friend since childhood. He has a total crush on her and didn't really act well to her secret. Rowan, she's also Valhalla's friend, her like best girlfriend, you know. She has a crush on Sareem, but because she thought that Valhalla and Sareem were an item, she did nothing about it. I'm like, oof, there's some stuff going on here. Laurel, I think that's how you say her name, or Laurel. She is Aldrich's only friend that we know of. And she becomes friends with Valhalla, and she becomes someone who Valhalla can trust. She's also a sorcerer. If I haven't mentioned them before, that's what Valhalla is. So also, Laurel and Aldrich, they're both firebringers, so their whole magic thing is fire. And if you couldn't tell by the name of the book, Valhalla's powers there. Yeah. One last thing on Laurel. She's one of the first sorcerers to show Valhalla that they aren't bad people. That the sorcerers aren't bad people. So yeah. Spoilers. So, starting with what Aldrich did to Valhalla to awaken her powers. He pushes her off a tower. But because Valhalla had saved him through making vessels unknowingly, which is, you know, magic stuff, they become bound together, so he can in no way kill her. So if pushing her off the building was to kill her, he wouldn't have been able to do it. That was his logic in this situation. This also made him lose her trust that he had gained through the correspondence with each other, which, like, fair. Like, he pushes you off a tower, you're not going to trust him again. But then he kind of earns back that trust a little bit. Now to that ending. So, their kingdom is fighting against the North, so there's a war going on. And the North ends up attacking them. Well, it ends up attacking the town. Now, Valhalla's friends are in that town, near where the explosions are, and she runs to save them. Aldrich follows her because, you know, like, he's in love with her and he needs to protect her. That's when they get attacked by the Northerners, Aldrich takes down the first one, but because he's still got that poison in him, he's kind of spent. They're so they're about to kill him when she blows up and I guess summons a whole windstorm to tear up these northerners trying to kill Aldrich. She has no memory of this. She also has no memory of her fall. She has no memory of any of it, really. Okay. Oof. So she wakes up in a cell and is on trial for, like, multiple things. One of which is trying to kill Aldrich and, treason and stuff. And the trial ain't really going well for her because there's this guy that's so against her. But the Emperor actually ends up believing her when she says that she would never kill Aldrich, she would only save him. And then before her final verdict, she's taken to the temple to give her final prayers, and Aldrich shows up. We all know that was he planned this. They have a little fight. Then he admits that at first he was just trying to use her, but then he started to just, like, want to be around her, so he kind of, started falling for her. See, they don't actually admit it. And then she's all like, don't go, stay. And he's all like, we're in this together because, we're bound. And then you get to the verdict. So they find her non-guilty on, like, half the stuff. Like the treason and wanting to kill Aldrich part. But she's guilty on all the others that's, like, public destruction and whatnot. And so her sentence is that she's property of the Empire and is now conscripted as a soldier and is being sent to the front lines. Mind you, she doesn't know how to fight. So they're just trying to kill her. And, like, everyone knows that. They're all aware that these people are just trying to kill her. And then she kind of has a mental breakdown after this and is all like, if they want me to be a monster, then I'm going to be a monster. And she cuts her hair off. Why is it that the girls in fantasy books always have to cut their hair off? Like, we'll cut it short. Like, I know and I understand the symbolism to it, but I just, like, don't want it. And it's always short. I'm like, and it's always, like, this short or something. Or I'm like, just leave it at a good length, like here. Like, because the hair is always super long. So I'm just like, leave it at a nice length. I don't want it to be short. Ugh. But also, that's just because I don't wear short hair. I don't like it on me. I like longer hair, even though it's more difficult. This isn't really spoilers, but I just want to talk about it. So the Emperor in this book, he doesn't seem to be, like, as evil as the kings and emperors usually are. He seems to actually be okay. But, we still have, like, a whole 4 other books. So we'll see how things change. But he doesn't seem as evil as they usually are. Excuse me. So, like, that whole scene in the trial, like, I was like, oh, okay. So we're not really evil today. Oh, I kind of like that because that's different. Because usually the evil, and they're usually the ones that are trying to kill the girl, but it's actually another person who's trying to kill the girl. Also, like, nobody likes Aldrich anyways. They all hate him. It's like, well, what do you expect when he's a sorcerer and you've kind of, yeah, people just don't like sorcerers. They fear them. Sorry, I got distracted by that paper in the back. I was like, that's a weird angle. Okay, so yeah, to the next one. So, anyways, bye. Wait, what? Sorry, I'm used to saying just bye on my Instagram and TikTok videos. Okay, anyways, thank you for listening and watching. And have a good rest of your day, night, week, month, year, life. Thank you, and goodbye.